Level 1. The farm he hated. You were born on July 30th, 1863, on a farm in Springwells Township, Michigan, 9 miles west of Detroit. Your father, William, came from County Cork, Ireland, during the famine years of the 1840s, and he built what he came for: 80 acres, a family, a place that lasts. He expects you to want what he built. You do not want it. You are 7 years old, and you are already taking apart pocket watches to see how they work, and putting them back together without being shown how. At 15, your father gives you your own watch. You disassemble and reassemble watches belonging to friends and neighbors, more than 300 of them, never charging a fee. The farm is something to get through before you can get to the thing you actually want. In 1876, the year you turn 13, two things happen that will shape the rest of your life. The first, you are riding with your father on a wagon toward Detroit when you see something on the road ahead that makes you stand up in the cart. A steam-powered machine, self-propelled, moving itself down the road on its own wheels. A man stands at the back, shoveling coal and steering. No horse, no ox. The machine moves itself. You jump off the cart and run to it. The engineer lets you inspect everything. You ask every question you can think of, and you memorize every answer. The second thing that happens in 1876, your mother Mary dies. She is 37. She dies shortly after delivering a stillborn child. You will write decades later, "I never had any particular love for the farm. It was the mother on the farm I loved." The machine moves itself down the road. Your mother is gone. You are 13 years old, and the farm is now only the farm. Level 2, Detroit. You are 16. You have helped your father bring in the summer harvest, and now you leave. You walk off the farm and into Detroit, and you do not look back. You apprentice at James F. Flower and Brothers Machine Shop, then at the Detroit Dry Dock Company. You are making $2.50 a week and living with your Aunt Rebecca. You learn machining, metalwork, the grammar of how mechanical things are made. In 1882, you go back to Dearborn for 2 years to work your father's farm, and during this time, you operate a Westinghouse portable steam engine so skillfully that Westinghouse hires you as a local service engineer. In 1888, you marry Clara Bryant, the daughter of a farmer from Greenfield Township. Clara is the decision that anchors everything that comes next. You have been offered a part-time position at the Edison Illuminating Company in Detroit. You take Clara and move to the city. You work nights at the power plant. The days are yours. You spend them in the shed behind the house on Bagley Avenue with a gasoline engine clamped to the sink and a notebook full of calculations. You are building something. You do not yet know exactly what it will cost. Level 3, the Quadricycle. You are 32, June 4th, 1896, 2 in the morning. A spring thunderstorm is breaking over Detroit. You have not slept in 36 hours. In the shed behind 58 Bagley Avenue, you make one final adjustment to the machine you have been building in every spare hour for 2 years. A 2-cylinder, 4-horsepower gasoline engine mounted on a frame of angle iron, seated between 4 bicycle wheels, steered with a tiller. You call it the Quadricycle. There is one problem. You built it inside the shed, and you built it too wide. It will not fit through the door. You pick up an axe and knock out part of the brick wall. Clara holds a lantern in the rain while you push it out. You fire the engine. You climb on and drive it down Bagley Avenue into the wet Detroit streets at 3 a.m. You ride it for about a mile in the dark before the engine stops. You push it back, fix the problem, and ride it again. You are chief engineer at Edison now, making $1,900 a year. 2 years later, you meet Thomas Edison himself at a convention in New York. You describe what you are building. Edison slaps the table and says, "Young man, you have it. Don't let anyone talk you out of it." That is the first time a man whose opinion matters to you has told you that this is real. Level 4, 2 failures. You are 36. You have resigned from Edison and convinced 12 investors, including the mayor of Detroit, to back you. In August 1899, you incorporate the Detroit Automobile Company, the first automobile manufacturer in the city of Detroit. You are building cars. Your investors want a product. You want a better product. You keep redesigning. The first vehicle the company produces is a delivery truck. Heavy, unreliable, not ready. You ask for more time. Your investors want revenue. In January 1901, they dissolve the company. You have failed. The same investors, unwilling to entirely give up on you, reorganize around a new venture, the Henry Ford Company, named after you. This time you focus on racing cars. You build a 26-horsepower racer with your assistant, Ed Huff. On October 10th, 1901, at the Grosse Pointe Racetrack, You race a man named Alexander Winton, the most successful car manufacturer in America, the prohibitive favorite. You beat him. The crowd goes berserk. You are now the most famous racing driver in Michigan, and your investors want you to sell that, to put your name on passenger cars. You want to keep building something better. In March 1902, your board dismisses you from the company that carries your name. They reorganize it, without you, as the Cadillac Motor Car Company. You've been fired from your own company. You are 38 years old. You have failed twice. You have one more attempt in you, and you know it has to be the last. Level 5, the Ford Motor Company. You are 39, June 16th, 1903. You have found new investors, including John and Horace Dodge, who believe in what you are building. The Ford Motor Company is incorporated with $28,000 in cash. You set up a small plant on Mack Avenue in Detroit and begin producing the Model A. In the first year, you sell 1,708 cars. In 1908, you are ready. October 1st, 1908, you announce the Model T. The price is $825. It is not cheap, but it is sturdy. It can run on dirt roads. It can be repaired by the man who buys it. It is built for the country as it actually is, not the country that rich men imagine. In 1909, you sell 10,000 of them. You open the Highland Park plant in January 1910. You were watching the production floor, and you were thinking about a slaughterhouse you visited in Chicago, the way the carcasses move on overhead trolleys through the processing line, each station doing one thing, the meat moving to the worker instead of the worker moving to the meat. You turn the idea upside down. On October 7th, 1913, the moving assembly line starts at Highland Park. The chassis is pulled down the line on a rope. Workers stand at stations and do one task. By 1914, a complete Model T chassis is assembled in 93 minutes. The previous time was 12 hours and 28 minutes. You have not built a faster car. You have built a faster factory. Level 6, $5 a day. You are 50, January 5th, 1914. You announce something that makes every factory owner in America furious. You are doubling the minimum wage at Ford Motor Company to $5 a day. The average factory wage in America is $2.34 a day. Yours is more than double. Your competitors call it reckless. Your shareholders are horrified. The Wall Street Journal calls it an economic crime. You tell them why you did it. The assembly line works because it is relentless and repetitive, and the men who work it cannot keep up with it psychologically. They leave. The turnover is catastrophic. In 1913, you had to hire 52,000 workers to maintain a workforce of 14,000. The $5 day is not charity. It is engineering. It reduces the turnover. It concentrates the most productive workers in your plant. And it does one more thing that you have planned for and that no one else has calculated. An assembly line worker at Ford can now buy the car he builds with 4 months' pay. You are not just paying your workers. You are making them your customers. By 1914, the Model T's price has fallen to $490. By 1924, it will reach $260. Every year, the car costs less, and every year, more people can afford it. You have not changed what a car is. You have changed who a car is for. Level 7, the newspaper. You are 56. The Dearborn Independent is your newspaper. You bought it in 1918, and you have distributed it through every Ford dealership in America. In May 1920, the front page carries the first installment of a series you have sanctioned, The International Jew, the World's Foremost Problem. You published 91 anti-Semitic articles over the next 18 months. The articles draw on a fraudulent document called The Protocols of the Elders of Zion, a Russian forgery, and they blame Jewish people for the corruption of American culture, finance, music, agriculture, and political life. The articles are reprinted as a 4-volume book called The International Jew. The German translation reaches millions. 6 German-language editions are printed between 1922 and 1924. In Munich, a failed painter turned politician named Adolf Hitler reads them. He puts a full-length portrait of you on the wall of his office at Nazi Party headquarters. In Mein Kampf, published in 1925, he names you specifically, the only American he praises. In 1931, a Detroit news reporter visits Hitler and asks about the portrait. Hitler says, "I regard Henry Ford as my inspiration." In 1927, under pressure from a libel suit, you issue an apology. You say you were unaware of the content. You close the newspaper. In 1938, on your 75th birthday, Adolf Hitler sends you personal greetings and the Grand Cross of the German Eagle, the highest honor the German government can give a foreign citizen. You accept it. The photograph is taken. You are the most influential industrialist who ever lived. You have put your name on a philosophy that a government is using to build the machinery of genocide. You do not say so out loud. The photograph exists. Level 8. Edsel. You are in your 70s. Your only son's name is Edsel. You named him after a boyhood friend. He has worked in the company his entire adult life, and you have made it impossible for him at every turn. Countermanding his decisions, humiliating him in front of staff, surrounding him with a head of security named Harry Bennett, who runs the company's internal operations like a private army, and undermines Edsel systematically. You love your son. You cannot stop doing this to him. When war comes and Edsel, with President Roosevelt's personal support, commits Ford Motor Company to building the B-24 Liberator bomber at a new plant called Willow Run, you complicated at every stage. You were a pacifist. You opposed the war. You canceled contracts for Rolls-Royce engines for the British before America entered the conflict. Edsel holds Willow Run together despite you. In January 1942, surgeons open him up for what everyone assumed were stomach ulcers. They find cancer, metastatic, incurable. Edsel Ford dies on May 26, 1943. He is 49 years old. He never sees Willow Run produce its 1,000th bomber in November of that year. He never sees the plant achieve its peak of one complete B-24 Liberator every hour. You resume the presidency of your own company because there is no one else. There is never a public accounting of what you took from your son. There does not need to be. You know. Level 9. The Flood. You are 83. April 7th, 1947. The Rouge River is flooding. The waters have risen so fast that the power at your estate, Fair Lane, has failed. The electricity is out. The generator is gone. You and Clara are in the dark when the stroke takes you. You die in the night on the second floor of the house you built on the land where you grew up. In the dark, surrounded by rising water, in a home with no power, as if the 20th century you built has stepped back out of the room and left you as you started. A farm boy in Michigan in the 1870s, before the lights came on. It is April. The farm is wet and the power is out. Your mother has been gone for 71 years. You are buried in Ford Cemetery in Detroit. Your estate is valued at approximately $600 million, roughly $7.5 billion today. The Ford Motor Company produced more than 29 million automobiles before the war, and more than 8,600 B-24 Liberator bombers during it. The moving assembly line you built at Highland Park in 1913 is still the model on which every factory on Earth operates. The man who gave ordinary people the freedom to move wherever they wished kept his workers in line with guards and informants. The man who doubled his workers' wages used his newspaper to spread the ideology that powered a genocide. The man who could not help destroying his own son outlived him by 4 years and spent every one of them knowing it. And now you are history.